Our first community conversation, we're joined by Kathleen Haden, a surgical oncology nurse practitioner with UVA Health. She's sitting down with Aaron.
Kathleen, it's nice to meet you and thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You're very welcome. So this month is Skin Cancer Awareness Month.
It is.
And so today we wanted to specifically talk about melanoma.
Yeah.
So what exactly is a melanoma?
So melanoma is evolves from a mutated melanocyte. So that's the pigment in our skin that actually gives us color. So over time, usually from constant ultraviolet light, that's what causes us to tan. So those cells mutate and turn into cancer.
Gotcha. Okay. And how common are melanoma?
So melanoma is happens to be the 5th most common cancer in men and women. It also is about 1% of most of the skin cancer. So we've heard of squamous cells and basal cells actually earlier in the month, so it's just part of those. So it's about 1 in 33 people will develop melanoma in their lifetime.
Wow, that's more than I had realized.
Yeah.
And what can someone do to prevent melanoma?
So the main thing that's so important is sunscreen protection, so sun safety. So stay in the shade, wear a hat, wear your sunscreen. Even when you go out just driving, you get sun, in the car. Wear sunglasses. Wear those special new SPF clothing. That's so important, and protecting our children too, making sure we're keeping them safe and out of the sun. And by all means, sun tanning beds and lamps are not safe.
And what are the signs and symptoms that signal that someone may have melanoma?
So most of my patients that come in to see myself and my surgical oncology team say, I said, well, what happened? My wife noticed something, right? They're not seeing dermatology on a regular basis. Or they say, this thing just looks like, we call it the ugly duckling. It just morphs and changes over time. It can start bleeding and oozing. It can be, I had a mole there my whole life and now it's changing.
Right.
So it's important, one, to notice your own body, self-skin exam, and also see a trained professional to look at your skin.
Right.
And remember, melanoma is not always black or brown. It can be red. It can actually have no color. That's called amelanotic melanomas. So it's just important to look at the skin and be observant of that.
Okay, so it's good to know your body, and
Yes.
that way, if you know what your body looks like normally, you'll know what it looks like when something is abnormal.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And what treatment options are available at UVA Health?
Melanoma is, I think UVA has been a leader in melanoma for decades now. I worked very closely with Craig Slingloff, who's still part of our research team. He's a surgical oncologist who has been really a leader in melanoma in the world, creating some vaccines that we're looking at. We have all the immune therapies. Melanoma is cured by surgery if we find it early and has great outcomes. But sometimes melanoma is the most deadliest form because it can spread to other parts of the body.
Got it.
So most commonly it can actually go to a lymph node near where that mole was. And we're doing an interesting study, again led by Dr. Slingloff, in that we are doing studies where we're looking at removing just one node, not all the lymph nodes. And actually, this is an interesting study we're doing with many other centers, and we're looking at, can we be less aggressive with our surgical attempts to cure? And we also combine this with immune therapies. Immune therapies have revolutionized the care for melanoma.
Right. Okay, well that's great. And before we go, how can people get in touch with you all?
Yeah, so if it's important, if you have melanoma, seeing a dermatologist, our community dermatologist and local refer to us for the removal of the melanoma. We have a multidisciplinary team that works to basically provide just your own care plans. We have a nurse navigator, we have a pathologist, radiologist, surgical and medical oncologist that work together to provide this care. So we have uvahealth.com/melanoma, has phone numbers and all the information you need about our clinical trials we have available for melanoma, and also how to get in touch with us for care.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kathleen, for coming in today. It was great having you here.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Steve, over to you.